Hi everyone, welcome to the Sharing to Stories session. I'm Winnie, a partner engineer at Facebook, and I'm so excited to be talking about our Stories platform here at F8 Refresh today. For years, people have turned to Facebook technologies to share what they're thinking, doing, and feeling. With Sharing to Stories, our developer partners have helped people creatively express themselves in new ways, and we're excited to share with you today specific examples of our partners' success. We're also excited to share our vision for the continued evolution of the Stories platform, which will enable people to access their favorite creation apps right from Stories. More about that at the end of the session. By integrating sharing to Stories, you can enable your app users to directly share content from your app to Facebook and Instagram Stories. This allows your users to easily share what they're doing, feeling, and experiencing on your app with their friends and family. Developers have integrated sharing to Stories to help with a range of goals, and these include increased awareness by helping to grow word-of-mouth buzz through their app users' social network on Facebook and Instagram. Control over their brand by going beyond screenshots and customizing how their app's content appears and interacts on Stories. And better story creation flow by enabling a better sharing experience with modified entry points, shared flows, and call to actions without being bound to Android or iOS share sheet requirements. Since Sharing to Stories debuted at Facebook's F8 Developer Conference in 2018, we've welcomed more than 800 developers to the platform. Here are some examples of how developers across multiple verticals have turned to Stories. Music is one of the main ways people express their mood and how they're feeling. So we found there's a really natural synergy for music partners when it comes to sharing to Stories. Take Spotify, for example. Sharing to Stories enables seamless sharing from the Spotify app to Facebook and Instagram, allowing artists to connect with fans and fans to express themselves with the songs and podcasts they love. By pioneering fresh and exciting ways for their customers to discover and share their platform's content, Spotify has been a true trailblazer when it comes to innovating with sharing to Stories. We've also seen tremendous interest from apps that offer photo and video editing capabilities as another way for people to creatively express themselves. PicU is an all-in-one photo editing app which allows people to create photo cutouts, erase image backgrounds, blur images, and use beauty effects for portraits. Since launching in 2019, PicU has been downloaded over 10 million times. Fitness is also a perfect example of users leveraging Stories to celebrate and energize their communities. We've heard that people seek support and inspiration from their friends and family while on their fitness journeys. Enabling sharing of workouts and personal records on Stories is a great way to build a community to provide that support and motivation. Muscle Booster is a fitness and exercise app that helps people become more active by providing a smart training algorithm that encourages them to achieve their training goals. In addition, they offer fitness-related content such as workout videos and tutorials so that people can train both at home and in the gym. With more than 33 million installs, Sharing to Stories has helped extend engagement from the app to social platforms while driving awareness amongst new audiences. Now, let's get down to business. I'd like to share how you can make the most out of Sharing to Stories from the planning and build phases right through to post-launch. For the planning phase, first define your goal. Identifying your goal will help guide what and how to integrate Sharing to Stories. Here are a few examples that developers have defined. 1. Awareness. How often are users sharing? 2. Retention. How often are users coming back? And 3. Engagement. How do users interact with the content? How much time do users spend? Once you've decided on goal metrics, be sure to measure baseline levels before integrating so that you can understand the impact of this integration moving forward. If possible, also put A/B tests in place to test hypotheses, such as different contents to share and call to actions. Next, think through the user journey. Create share-worthy content. Work with your creative team to develop background and sticker content that is original, visual, and immersive. Background content can be a color gradient, an image, or a video, and sticker content can be an image. Encourage users to share their milestones and moods. Surface content to share at relevant moments, such as accomplishments, what they're feeling, or a summary of their app usage. Increase visibility of the sharing feature to your app users. Get your users' attention with prominent entry points and call to actions. Define a platform approach. Build sharing flows for Facebook and Instagram stories. Offering both platforms gives your users more choice and increases your app's distribution. And last but not least, design beautifully. Be sure to take into consideration design practices like safe areas, on-brand colors, and rounded corners for stickers. Moving on to the build phase. You've probably already guessed at this point that the most intensive component of integrating sharing to stories is generating the creative assets, and this will likely take some iteration. Once the creative assets are available for your sharing scenarios, the technical integration is actually very straightforward. We use intent actions on Android and custom URL schemes on iOS for you to pass the necessary media and metadata to us. This will allow the user to be redirected to our stories composer flow, where they will be able to leverage our first-party creation tools as well. And from here, users can then share to their stories. Don't worry if that's a little confusing. We have all of this information in detail in our public developer docs. We also recommend that you integrate across Facebook and Instagram stories on both iOS and Android for maximum reach. And so that brings us to the post-launch phase. Once you're done implementing, here's what we would recommend. First, product marketing. Educate your users about sharing to Facebook and Instagram stories through channels like in-app notifications, social media posts, email marketing, blog posts, and press releases. Second, social contests. Leverage the power of your users' social networks to amplify your app's content. Holding contests and spreading the word via Facebook stories and Instagram stories can encourage your users to share milestones and achievements. And finally, influencer marketing. Explore the possibility of partnering with an influencer who is aligned with your brand and product to help amplify and promote your app. Sharing to stories has enabled our developer partners to help people creatively express themselves in new ways, but we know that there's still room to innovate. Discovering the newest self-expression apps can be hard for people, and acquiring people in a highly competitive, rapidly expanding market can be expensive for apps. We have started testing a new concept that will allow people to discover creative apps right from stories. After discovery, people can create and edit their content in the creative app, then share back to Facebook stories. B612, a camera and photo and video editing app, is our first test partner. Here is how they've integrated. Early results indicate that when starting in the Facebook Stories Composer, people are using the B612 app to enhance their content more than other native Facebook tools. And after editing content on the B612 app, 50% of users return to Facebook to share their content with their friends and family. Here's some feedback from Chung-Wook Kim, the B612 CEO. We are thrilled to provide Facebook users with the opportunity to more easily discover and experience B612's fun content and various editing features. The UI flow that allows users to easily enter B612 from Facebook stories, then share their edited images back to stories is fantastic. And through this collaboration, we are excited to welcome users from across the globe. In addition to B612, we will continue testing with a diverse set of creative partners, including Smule, the popular social singing app that lets you sing your favorite songs solo, with friends, and with the top recording artists who made them. Here is how Smule is leveraging our creative platform to empower collaborative music creation across the globe.
When he opens his arms and holds you close tonight, it just won't feel right, 'cause I can't love you. When he opens his arms and holds you close tonight.
And in the coming weeks, we will continue expanding to additional testing partners, including Viva Video and Vida. Join us in the world of stories by building now.